Hey guys, Matty Miller with Pursuit Real Estate here, and today we are going to be talking about real life issues in the real estate world. We are not HGTV, not everything is hunky-dory. We have real life issues that we have to solve for people and clients. Today we're going to talk about a real life septic issue that we did end up getting solved for a client. So stay tuned for more info. All right, guys. So I've never been one to sugarcoat kind of anything, but sometimes in real estate, we have issues that come up and arise that quite honestly are just kind of crappy, bad situations. It's not that anybody did anything wrong. It's not that anybody's trying to lie to anybody. It's just a situation that happens. So for instance, we had a listing that had a septic tank that was on the property. Obviously the septic tank was actually less than 7 to 10 years old. And we'd had a renter in this particular home because we do property management as well here at Pursuit Real Estate. So this is one of our listings that we were selling. Hadn't really had any issues with the septic. Nothing had been sent back. Buyer comes in, gives us a great offer to no fault of their own, to no fault of the sellers. Buyer comes in, gives a great offer. Like I said, go to do a septic inspection and the top part of the tank is blown out, apparently. And I'm not a septic expert by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm smart enough to tell you that when there's water coming out of that area where it's supposed to be a drain field, we got a problem. One thing that we did during this process was contact 2 different septic companies, a septic inspection company directly to get a second opinion, which we went ahead and got that squared away. He did indeed say that, hey, this is blown out and does need to be replaced. Here's the cost for this. Here's why it happened. Apparently this particular type of septic tank, if it gets off balance a little bit, chemically either way, it can be very difficult to maintain, which again, I'm not a huge septic tank guy. If I can help it, I would probably rather have city sewer so it's on their end and pay for a little bit every month to deal with it, but to each his own. So 2 opinions on it. Had to stretch out the timeline to actually have the drain field replaced. Had to stretch that timeline out for basically 38 days. Past our original close date. Luckily, the buyer was awesome. Talked to the seller about it. The seller's like, hey, that really sucks, but we got to pay for it if we want to sell the house, right? And we're like, yeah, kinda. So we actually ended up doing an upgraded septic tank as well. So the whole system got upgraded as well because the buyer wanted to get a little bit of a bigger tank. So we ended up spending around $17,000 to $18,000 in total, but we chipped in for about 13 of it. So $13,000. They added another 4 to upgrade the system. Everybody was happy. It was kind of a mess when we first started out, and people weren't very happy that it was going to take longer to close, going to cost them more money. But again, it just goes to show you that not everything is perfect in those situations. Things do get worked through. And again, as long as you're upfront and honest about, hey, here's the issue. It's not anybody's fault. Nobody's trying to hide anything. You can work through those problems. And that's what really we're here to do, because every single deal comes with some kind of curveball or some kind of snag that ultimately is just going to have to get solved. And that's the way I kind of look at my job as a realtor, is to really solve people's issues, because there's always going to be issues on houses for the history of time. So that we're not going to avoid those, but again, working through them, working with the other agents. I got to give a shout out to that agent as well. She was great, in dealing with that situation. The buyers were amenable. The sellers were cool. Like, everybody worked together to get something done. And that was a really cool experience to deal with, is the fact that everybody was working together to get one common goal. And that's ultimately what we do in our business, is work together to make everybody happy if we can, or at least get that deal across the finish line. So kind of a cool story, definitely a unique one. Learned a lot about septic tanks in the last 3 or 4 months, but got to go through a full-on septic inspection. So if you need anything, let me know. If you need a septic inspector, got a really good one, call me. Again, my name is Matty Miller with Pursuit Real Estate, and thanks for listening to me talk about real estate problems. Talk to you later.